Very good afternoon, students. Welcome back to. When it comes to the topics, the rest of the topics I already discussed. We already discussed them in the classroom, and I'm just covering the important topics, which actually where you can actually score them easily. And as a part of that, I just selected one topic which is very important, where you're not going to expect any question paper without this topic. So you can expect two or three marks questions from this topic. The topic is all about word formation, prefixes, and suffixes, and which actually from Unit 1. Let's see what are these word formations, prefixes, and suffixes. See, word formation is very important aspect of most languages, and whereas English has no exemption for that. So let's see what actually word formation is all about. See here, word formation is nothing but it's a creating a new word. It means creating a word by adding up two or more different words. That is what actually word formation means. So the words when they are created, they're going to have a different meaning. They're going to have meanings, and also they may actually add something uh, to the other word. That is what actually a word formation is all about. And I want to tell you something which is very important, of course, though it is not in your syllabus, but for your knowledge sake, I'm just sharing this one as out of my interest. See here, when it comes to the word formation, we have different types actually. So we cannot actually linger, or we cannot actually rely on one word to form a word. So, but we need different things, and coming with all these, with the help of these things, we can actually form a word. The first word is actually talks about compounding. Compounding doesn't mean that. So you know very well. Compound means no, putting two words together. So when you are putting two words together, it is going to have a new word. For example, uh, bookcase, bookcase we say, and sign plus post, signpost we say, watch plus man, watchman. So this is how compound words are actually formed. So with the help of these compound words, we can actually form a new word. And also the second one is actually derivations. We actually call them derivation. So derivations are nothing but these prefixes and suffixes, which is our topic, and we're going to see them soon. And next one, the third one, with the help of this blending, also we can actually create a new word. And also we can, with the help of this clipping. So with the help of these clippings too, we can actually form a new word. Don't get confused. What is this clipping? Clipping doesn't mean that. See, for example, advertisement. Take the word advertisement. So instead of telling advertisement, we say ad. Just now I saw an ad about an university who are providing online courses. So in the place of advertisement, I just used ad. So when you are using words like that, they are called as clippings. So with the help of these clippings, we can actually frame new words, or we can actually form new words. And also you can take one more word. So instead of telling demonstration, we actually say demo. So just now I gave my demo in NIT Warangal. So in the place of demonstration, I just said demo. So if you are using words like that, they are considered are called as clipping. And you know very well about these acronyms. And next, the sixth one is here, novel creation. And next, creative respelling. So creative respelling doesn't mean that. See here, I can better say this word formation is actually used mostly in social media. So when you're WhatsApping somebody, or else when you're texting somebody, so you're going to use different words. For example, when instead of writing because, the full form BECAUSE, that is the actual spelling for because. But we are not going to write that entire word, but we're going to write only BCOG, sorry, BCOZ. So which actually pronounced as because. And instead of writing forever, FOR, EVER, instead of writing that, So what we're going to write? We're going to write the numeric letter for and EVA forever, which actually pronounced. So that is how we actually use when it comes to creative respelling. So all these seven different levels are actually helping us to form a new word. That is the history behind to that, and this is how we actually frame or we actually form the words. So word formation doesn't mean that. So creating a new word with the help of these things. And of course, we are not going to study all of these except the second point, that is derivations, which is said as are known as prefixes and suffixes. These prefixes and suffixes are very useful for customizing the meanings of words. So make sure of that. And let's see what they're all about. Yeah, as you're seeing here, prefixes doesn't mean that. Prefix is a word which actually placed before a root word. So see here. So root word is here in the example peril. Peril is the root word. So in is the prefix. So when we add a prefix to this base word or root word, it is given the sound of, or we got the new word which is imperil. Do you know the meaning of imperil? Imperil is nothing but, if I'm not mistaken, injured or destroyed. That is what actually mean. What that is what actually the meaning of imperil. But if you take peril itself alone, it has its own meaning. But when you add this prefix im to this peril, we got a new word. The new word that is imperil. And next, when it comes to the second word, so monish is the root word, so which where you have to add this prefix. So prefix is nothing but adding this, adding a word or adding a word to this base words or root words. So when you add them, we're going to get new words. So monish is a different word. Monish means one somebody strongly, giving some strong warning. That is what actually the meaning of monish. So when you are adding add to this monish, so we're going to get a new word that is admonish. And when it comes to the next word, so sept is the root word and inter is the prefix. So when you add inter to this sept root word, so we got the new word intercept. I guess you all know that the meaning of intercept. Intercept doesn't mean that divide, or else we can also say bypassing. So this is what actually the meaning of intercept. And see here, whenever we added these prefixes to the base words, and you can see the new words are actually existed, and also we're going to get, or we are getting a new meanings. This is how we actually use these prefixes in our vocabulary. I'm telling you one thing, if you wanted to do this topic, you one must be very careful, one must be updated with these vocabulary. See here some of the prefixes and their meanings and how they're actually going to form into a word. We knew the word called, the prefix called sub. Sub means under. So submarine. You can use this one in a sentence saying he works in submarine. And semi means, you know very well that half. Half mean here. So we framed a new word, semi-final. Our team has qualified for semi-finals. So that is how we can say. And next, when it comes to the un means not, unfriendly. So her attitude is unfriendly. He is not that much. So un doesn't mean that whenever you are using un to any word, make sure you are telling this one, not. And when it comes to the word, the prefix this means not or opposite of. So disgraceful. Your behavior was disgraceful. So not graceful. This means here not. So your behavior no was not graceful. That is what actually meaning. That is what actually it conveys when you place this before to something. And when it comes to re means again, do something again. So here reuse means doing something second time. For example, try where possible to reuse paper, like that. And next, X means farmer older. X5 we can say, XMLA we say, right? And pre means before. So preschool we say. Mid means middle. So midway, midsummer. So omni we all know. So omni means all, every. So whenever you are adding to the verse, so it will it said as, or it will be pronounced as, or it is no, it's going to give a new word. Omnibus, omniscient. And next, para. Para means beside. Parachute, paradox. And next, post. Post means after. Postmortem or postpone. And next, the mono. Mono means a single or one. So monotone or monolithic. Monolithic is a word we can actually see. This one in second unit in ancient architecture. Next, tri means three, tripod, tricycle. So these are some of the prefixes which will actually helps us, um, which will actually help us to create or bring out the new words to the root words. This is how we actually add prefixes to the root word. Hope you all understood this one. Next, if you see the next topic, that is suffixes. Suffixes, prefix is nothing but adding something before to the root word, and a suffix is nothing but adding something at the end of the root word. We are not going to add anything before to that, but at the end of the root word, we're going to add this one. For example, see here, free is the root word, and the dom is the one which is actually called as a suffix. So when you add this dom to this free, so we got the new word, that is freedom. And also if you take the word star, star is the root word. When you add a dom to that, so it will become, or it became stardom. And you can see the next word, readable. So read is the base word, and able is the suffix. So when you put them together, so this is how it is going to be pronounced, readable. Our next one is here, capable. So this is how the words are actually formed when you add a suffix, when you add a suffix to the base word. And these are some of suffixes, and let's say their meanings. Ism means doctrine or belief. Judaism, skepticism we have. Ment means condition, enhancement or argument. Ness means state of being, happiness or sadness. And ship means position held, friendship, internship. What kind of position is that? So eight means become, so create or mediate. Full means notable for, handful or skillful. So less means without, meaningless, homeless. So and word or words means direction. So towards or inward or afterwards. And wise means in relation to, otherwise, likewise, and clockwise. So this is how these suffixes actually help us to form a new words. And this is how we actually form new words. This is what the topic is all about, prefixes and suffixes, and followed by word formation. So in the exam, if I'm not mistaken, most of the exams, this is how they actually ask. So they'll give you this word ism. For example, they'll give you this word and ask you to write a root word to this one. They may ask you to write a root word. So then you can use any one of these. Journalism, you can write Judaism. There are too many isms. So you can add root word like this. Or else sometimes they'll give you word, the root word, and ask you to add a suffix. So then you can use the suffix like this, free plus dom. So freedom. So this is how you can write. And when it comes to the prefixes too, so sometimes they'll give you peril and ask you to write a prefix to this one. Then you should add im, which is said pronounced as imperil. So we're going to get a new word. So and this is how they actually ask you at the time of examination. And also sometimes they'll give you any one of these prefixes and ask you to add a root word to that. So for example, they give you miss, the word, the prefix miss is given and asking you to add root word. So you can write misunderstand or miscommunicate or misunderstood or mismatch. That is how you can write. So you can write any of the root words given to this prefixes. So this is how we're going to get new words, and this is what is all about the topic called prefixes and suffixes. Hope you all understood. And if you still have any doubts regarding to this topic, you can ping me on WhatsApp or else phone me. Thank you so much.